Hello everybody, welcome to Water Tech with Todd. I'm your host Todd Schneider. In today's episode, we're going to be going over the Watts OneFlow Plus. Okay, so before we jump into the Watts OneFlow Plus anti-scale and carbon activated filter combo set, I want to talk a little bit about softeners. If you know a little bit about softeners and how they work and some of the extra things that need to be done with it, it'll really help out understanding how this Watts OneFlow Plus is working. All right, so we're talking a little bit about water softeners and what it does. A water softener is basically a two-tank system, maybe a single-tank system. Most of the time, they're going to be a two-tank system. We're going to have a media tank, and then we're going to have a brine tank. And what's happening in this system is water is actually going to enter through the softener. Your calcium and magnesium is actually going to stick to that media inside the tank. And then over time, that media will get kind of clogged up with everything based on maybe how you set it up, like a gallons per minute, or possibly a scheduled time, normally like 2 o'clock in the morning. Once that system gets completely full of calcium and magnesium, what it'll do is it'll regenerate the system, sending water over to the drain, and then keeping your system up and running. Now, with a softener, you need a pretty decent sized footprint. It's not something you can just set in a corner. You're also going to need some electric, and you're definitely going to have to take a look at your drain, make sure that the drain that you have in your utility room or wherever it's present is suitable for the amount of water that's going to be discharged at 2 o'clock in the morning. Right. So now getting a little miniature crash course on how a softener works, now we can move over and talk a little bit about our Watts OneFlow Plus. Now, I will tell you right off the bat, this is not the same as a water softener. Okay, this does not actually grab on the calcium and magnesium and then send it to a drain. This is a single action system. We're able to treat our water and do more of an anti-scale system, but this is not going to technically soften your water. So let's dive into this OneFlow Plus, what it is. So we have one single container, but what's really nice about this is I'm going to be talking about the anti-scale system in here, but we're also going to be talking about the carbon activated system. So not only is this going to be treating your water, but it's also going to be filtering your water with that carbon activated filter as well. Okay, so let's talk about how this is working. What you're going to have, you have two 1-inch tappings on both sides. We have our container, and what's going to be happening is actually water is going to be entering this system, filling the outside of this container, going through our carbon activated filter. Now, with carbon activated filter, that's actually going to grab a lot of the sediment. It'll help with the taste, the odor, any chlorine in the water. But once it gets through there, then it's going to enter through our media base, our OneFlow media base, heading up and then traveling down through the system. All right, let's take a look inside so we can see what we've got going on here. So we'll basically be removing our lid. Pop this out here. This cartridge here is going to be our OneFlow media base. And then also internally, we are going to have one carbon activated filter. This is going to be 20 microns and actually can hold up to a little over 2 pounds of debris before it needs to be changed. All right, so let's talk about this OneFlow system and what's really going on inside this cartridge here. So if you look at the Watts webpage or you kind of grab some information, what they're going to tell you is that this is actually working through, it's called TAC, or Template Assisted Crystallization. But let's be honest, do we really know what that means? Because I really don't. So internally, what we have is very, very small media. And the way I explain it is it actually looks just like a golf ball. And what's happening is there's millions of these in here. As the calcium and magnesium are flowing through your water, it's actually going to attach itself to that media base. Now, over time, what's going to happen is it's actually going to microscopically start to flake off and travel through the system. That's why I say this is not a softener where we're actually grabbing on and removing. What we're actually doing is when it's flaking off, it's allowing that hardness and that calcium and magnesium to travel through your pipes and then out through the faucet. So technically, your water is still hard, but the calcium that is in your water is not going to destroy your faucets, your dishwashers, or any other equipment that you have in the home. All right, so let's talk about maintenance and where we're going to be putting this in at. You're going to notice really quick that our footprint's a little less than 12 inches on the container. It does have feet on the bottom, so it can be sat directly on the ground. It also comes with a really heavy-duty wall bracket that you're able to sit on there and mount to the wall as well. So it's pretty easy to put in. Our carbon activated filter, like I said, was 20 microns, going to hold up to about 2 pounds of dirt and debris. This system here is going to hold, it's going to basically run about 50,000 gallons. So my suggestion on the carbon activated filter is you want to change this out about every once in a year, about every 50,000 gallons. Now, when we talk about our OneFlow media here, this system here only needs to be changed out about once every 3 years. I mean, this is going to hold up to 250,000 gallons that can run through it. So it's a very easy system, very, very low maintenance. It's installed in the home pretty easily, and then we'll just be once a year changing out our carbon, and then once every 3 years, you're just going to be pulling this out. So let's get in how to put this together. So our carbon activated filter will drop straight through. Our OneFlow media cartridge will slide right down through the center. And then what we're going to have is our water dispensing, and that is going to just very easily stick inside that hole, drop down, and we're ready to go. What we'll do is we'll take our cap, we'll spin this on. Also going to come with a really nice little tool which helps out. We'll grab that, hand tighten, maybe quarter turn. And then before you turn the water on, what we'll be doing is actually relieving a little bit of the air out of the system. Let the air out. We'll get a little water out of here. And then hand tight back down. And we're ready to go. So in this video, hopefully you understand that a water softener and an anti-scale system are two different things, okay? I'm not downing a softener and saying it doesn't work. What it does, though, is you have to have a footprint. You got to have electric. You got to have a drain. And then the big one is you have to add salt to that tank. If you don't add salt, you might as well not even have one. It's not going to work right as well. And sometimes adding salt, you may be doing that once every other week, a couple times a month. But with these anti-scale systems, you're not having to run down to a store and lug 50-pound bags of salt around with you. Okay, so we talked a little bit about softeners. Now that's OneFlow Plus anti-scale. It's a combination unit. We got our carbon and we've got our media base. Just please understand that this is not a softener. We are not technically removing. We are just treating that water, allowing that calcium and magnesium to pass through your system and not stick to all the brass or your shower heads or your faucets, even dishwashers and wash machines with solenoid valves. Those are what kind of get gummed up, and that calcium gets hard like a rock and can ultimately just destroy everything in the home. All right, so I appreciate everybody tuning in. Hopefully this answered a couple of your questions on how this works versus a water softener. But I'd also like to reach out and let you guys know that Watts is actually at their 150th year anniversary. It's a milestone for them. And they are asking to click on the link below in the video, take a quick survey of how everything's going with them. They've also got their own training videos. And with registering, they are giving out some massive merch, trips, Smart Connect systems. It's really big. It's pretty neat. It's not just giving away pencils and pens. I mean, they're really going all out for this. All right. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Again, hopefully this answered your questions. Please like and subscribe. If you could, that really helps us out, gives us the ability to do more of these videos. And then also in the comments, if there's something you also want to learn about or I should make another video on, please put that out there for us. Let us know what you're looking for and not just what we're talking about. All right, as always, if you find yourself or you're located in the Indiana, Kentucky, or Ohio area, please reach out to us at Disney-McLane. We do a lot of hands-on training. Everything that we talk about is live and up and running in the wet lab. And afterwards, you're now seeing the new Disney-McLane Country Club. So after our trainings, what we do is we invite you in, maybe hit a couple balls.